Good afternoon, Abnormals, and welcome back to the Ministry of Abnormality YouTube live broadcast. I'm your host, Abnormal, and today is Tuesday, March 21st of 2023. I have to look it up. I genuinely had to look that up. Welcome back to my show. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a great week. Haven't seen you guys in a week, so I'm looking forward to listening to all the stories about your comings and goings and your adventures. So welcome back. In the chat room I see Mao. Hello, Mao. Let's go to the broadcast screen. Today we're going to be doing some art for Travel RPG. Yes, I do have a new screen setup. I can show you. Let me just I can show you. Wait, I'm gonna send it to myself. Okay. Got it. Okay, so check it out. Here it is. Oh, wow, why is that so tiny? Wait. I just received like a tiny little... Oh, okay, there we go. So, here is the new screen setup. As you can see, wait, oh, I haven't opened Synapse. So as you can see, the desk is much lighter now, even though it has two very large screens on it. Wait. Yeah, you can see right there. Yeah, this is my new setup. Okay, how was my weekend? I worked. I worked. Yeah, my weekend was work. How was your weekend? What did you do? What have you been up to this weekend? Let me open a new window for this. Put it on the other screen. Okay, and we're just gonna... Yeah, there is a little bit less cables. Okay, image size. How big are we? Oh yeah, we need to make this bigger. Let's see, come on. What? No. Wait, what? Wait, is my keypad not on the right configuration? Yeah, it's Photoshop Ultimate. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Oh, thank you. Okay. And this is gonna be number 2. Okay, yeah, a little bit less cables, although, I mean, it's still me, so not that much less, just a little bit less, you know, not really. Yeah, just a little bit less. Okay. So, how has your return to social media been? How's that experience been going? Ooh, what? Oh, I see what's going on here. Oh, I'm sorry. How rude of me. Oh, okay. Huh. Here we are. So yeah, how's your return to social media been going? What do you have any conclusions after, I don't know, 2 weeks? A week? It's been good so far. I'm taking it easy with posting stuff. I saw some changes to the lives of people. Apparently everyone decided to have kids in those. Ah, man. People and their kids. Oh, you know what I have to say about that, so no point really in repeating what I've already said so many times. So I'm just gonna leave it at people and their kids. Yep, that's all I gotta say. But by the way, just to clarify to anybody listening here and wondering, like, wait, so you unfollow anybody that has kids? I don't unfollow people because they have kids. I unfollow people because when they have kids, their social media becomes all about either the kid or being a parent or any kind of stuff like that. And I mean, just the fact that you have a kid doesn't make me unfollow you. It's just the fact that you can't shut up about it. That's what makes me unfollow people that have kids. Oh, wait, now that you say that, I have something to tell you. Let me see if I already told you. Like honestly, I'm like oh yeah, I already told you. Like you mentioned a secret project. I'm like, oh Mo, did I tell you? Oh, okay. Yes, I did tell you. Okay, so yes, we do. Us here vague talking about things. That's gotta be annoying for people. Fortunately, I think it's just you and me right now. No, there is somebody else. A mysterious person. Oh, how was my... You know, it's actually... Um... it was actually a good time, but because... Okay, I've kind of learned... Okay, wait. So for anybody watching that doesn't know what Mao's talking about, at the university where I teach, they do this activity every semester called... Well, I suppose the translation would be a quick exercise. And what it is, it's like a group assignment. But it has to be done in a week. So, for teachers, that just means extra work, right? Because we have to be there, talking to the students, basically, do... Yeah, it involves a little bit more work. And in any case, one of the things I've kind of learned to do with I don't know, my mental state and those things is that since I'm so hyperactive, I've kind of learned to use that to my advantage. And as long as I can find something to do, I'm okay. I'm cool. So I did exactly that. I basically made myself extremely busy. I kind of got bored of grading stuff, and since it's so many teachers, at a certain point, I just kind of started taking care of logistics, like making sure that the next group of students was coming up, all that kind of stuff. And I just kept myself busy, you know, I just kept myself entertained for the day, and I did end up pretty exhausted. Kind of ended at 4. So yeah, I was pretty exhausted at the end of it, but yeah, kind of just kept myself busy, and that was that. So yeah, overall, I'd say it went well. Why are you okay? Wait. I can see what I'm missing here. We need this. Okay. I'm just gonna put this here in the lower quarter. Okay, we're just gonna put that there. And I'm gonna put this Photoshop image here. I'm gonna move. I'm still kind of getting a little bit used to the the screens. You know, going from 3 to 2. It's weird. I know. I know it sounds like, oh no, 3 to 2. How do you ever? But yeah, it's a change. But yeah, the students were even right. Oh, okay. Photoshop has like this new thing where it won't let you merge layers that have linked layers onto it. It's a weird thing that it has. I don't know. It seems to be something new. Okay. Yeah. I've kind of been on a little bit of an upgrading spree, but I am pleased to say that I'm pretty much done. As far as upgrading goes, yeah, I'm pretty much done. Now to kind of just ooh, sorry. I still kind of I'm hoping that I get the chance to record the video for this finally this weekend. Hopefully, you know, so I've been planning to do the review for this, and now I want to do a review for the setup and all that for the YouTube channel. But every single time I'm gonna like do it, you know, something comes up. Something always comes up. So I'm sort of hoping that okay, let's see if this weekend I can finally like sit down and actually start recording these things. So far, my review of the keypad is I love it. I love using it, but it takes a lot longer to kind of get into the flow of things. You know, once you get into the flow of your work, it goes really fast. But it takes longer to get into a flow state. I'll try to articulate that a lot better in the YouTube video. As for the dual monitor, that's going to be an easy review to do because, like, everybody should have dual monitors. That's just. Finally watched Black Adam yesterday with Anna. It was, The Rock was good in it. The colors were pretty. I like the costumes and Pierce Brosnan. I thought Black Adam was entertaining. I thought it was fun. I definitely think that it's a victim of superhero fatigue. You know, we got all these superhero movies that I really I'm pretty sure we might have thought they were awesome a few years ago, but now it's like whatever. So I believe we're in a transition period when it comes to movies. We're kind of moving on to the next thing. I don't know what the next thing is, unfortunately. If I did, I'd probably, you know, I don't know what the best thing. I don't know what the next thing is. But I think right now we're in a transition period where the industry is still trying to push in that direction, and it's gonna take it a little while to realize that it can't push in that direction anymore. The one that really surprises me is Disney with the remakes. Like, holy crap, Disney, get the memo. Those things don't work. But there are some movies I want to watch coming up, though. I'm looking forward to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm looking forward to John Wick 4. And I think there's another one, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, let's do an occlusion layer. Which one is the other one I want to watch? Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick 4, and there was something else. Man, now I can't not think about it. Let's see. Cine Colombia. There was something. Okay, Spider-Man is in June. I want to watch the new Ninja Turtles, which is in August. Flash is in June. I also want to watch that. I guess those were the two I wanted to watch. I don't know why I had the idea of 3 in my head. But anyway. Knock at the Cabin. Okay, and what is that one about? I want to watch Cocaine Bear, but I think I'm good watching Cocaine Bear at home. Right? Like when it comes out, I think I'll watch it at home. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good with watching Cocaine Bear at home. I mean, unless it's one of those days like, okay, there's nothing to do. What are we gonna do? Well, I want to go to the movies, and there's only Cocaine Bear. Well, then, yeah, sure, I'll watch Cocaine Bear. But other than that, I I don't know if it's the case, but it kind of strikes me as like one of those movies, kind of like Snakes on a Plane. Um, those movies that you're not gonna take very seriously, and you know, I think I'm good enough watching that at home. Unless somebody's already seen it in the theaters and absolutely thinks it must be seen in the theater. But that's not really what. I've been hearing that it's funny, that it's entertaining and all that kind of stuff, but not necessarily theater movie. Family goes to a vacation at a cabin, and Dave Bautista shows up with Rupert Grint, and two others with like hammers and knives, and threaten the family with the end of the world. Sounds alright. I like Dave Bautista. Yeah, I like me some Dave Bautista. YouTube's chat has a 200-word limit, so I have to choose my word carefully to write everything down in this tiny box. So basically, it's like you're chatting on Twitter. I wonder if I can remove that though. Let me see. Can I remove that? I don't see I don't see where I would remove that. Sabrina, hello! How are you? Okay, let's see. How are you, beautiful? What have you been up to? How's your Arlemisa? Whoa! Haven't seen you in a long time. How have you been? Oh, shit. You know what I was gonna do today and I forgot? I was gonna try multi-stream. Basically streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I was gonna try that today and I simply forgot. I'll try it next Friday. So you guys can watch wherever you like. Any reason you want to multi-stream other than further reach? I want the extra reach, but I also want people to be able to watch wherever they want. So, like, if you prefer Twitch, you can watch on Twitch. And if you prefer YouTube, you can watch on YouTube. So I think more choices is a good thing. Arlemisa, any reason I moved back to Photoshop? Yes, actually, but unfortunately, not a very good one. Oh no, wait, you didn't ask me if there was a reason. You just asked if I moved back to Photoshop. Well, yes, I did. But I will say the reason because I started the whole idea, so might as well finish it. So I got a new computer, right? And I spent like a day doing the whole move files, transfer things, all that kind of stuff. Then deleted everything off my old computer and realized I had forgotten to save my brushes. And so I reinstalled Clip Studio Paint with no brushes, and I have not been able to get Clip Studio Paint to feel like it used to be. I know it's like the most ambiguous, weird, non-thing you can imagine, but I have not been able to get Clip Studio Paint to feel the way it used to feel before switching over to the new computer. And it got to the point that I just opened Photoshop, and I had because I have my Photoshop brushes backed up elsewhere and stuff like that. So I set everything up in Photoshop, and the brush just felt really good, and that was it. And I want to try the new Clip Studio Paint. I'm not crazy about them moving over to a subscription model, but the first 3 months are free, so I figured, hey, let's give it a try. I want to try it, and I want to review it for the YouTube channel. But yeah, for now, it's just the brushes were not feeling right, and I couldn't recover the brushes I had, so back to Photoshop we go. And it was weird for a day or two, and now I'm just used to Photoshop again. I did have to rebind all the keys on the keypad though, so now I have the new Photoshop keypad setup called Foot PS Ultimate and Hyper PS, because yeah. So how have you been, Arlemisa? I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been? What have you been up to? Working and taking care of my mental health pretty rough for the last 6 months. Well, okay, so what I want to say is... So I want to say that I'm sorry for the mental health issues, but I'm glad you've been taking care of them. And I didn't know how to phrase that so that it didn't sound that I'm glad you have mental health issues or that I'm sorry you're taking care of them. But I hope the idea came across. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. There we go. Reminds me of the "Are you fucking sorry" meme. Some dude hurt someone and wanted to apologize and say, "Are you okay?" And I'm fucking sorry. And are you fucking sorry? That's like a psycho thing to say. But yeah, I get it. I get it. Especially for somebody like me, you know, that my brain is always kind of like swarmed with ideas. Sometimes it's difficult to focus on one idea, and too many ideas try to come out at the same time. One of these brushes has white programmed into it. So what's everybody up to this week? Catch me up. We haven't seen each other since last week. Catch me up. What's everybody up to? Have I watched anything lately? New? No. I've honestly... I haven't been watching much of anything because work has been a little bit intense. Basically, I have a client that's a lot of fun. I can't tell you guys about it yet. I have to wait for the book to come out to tell you guys about it. But I have this client. I'm working on a game. It's a lot of fun to work on, but the client always wants things like very, very quickly. So I've kind of been working my ass off. And so mostly I've been watching YouTube videos and just kind of totally watching Elden Ring lore videos, to be honest. That's what I've been watching a lot of. You saw The Whale this weekend? I want to watch The Whale. How was it? I've been wanting to watch it. How was it? It's raw? Okay. Okay, now I definitely need you to expand that a little bit, because that's an interesting way of putting it, but now I need to know what you mean by it. It's raw. Okay. See, the thing is, The Whale is one of the first... It's been a long time since I've wanted to watch an Oscar movie. Because I profoundly dislike the Oscars. So, what happens with me is that when a movie wins an Oscar, immediately, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see it. Now, this year was different because, well, first of all, it's not a secret that this year the Oscars decided to go a little bit more with a commercial kind of leaning with the movies, which I am totally in favor of, because I do think that this whole idea of giving Oscars to movies that nobody has ever seen is just not a good idea, right? So this year I like their kind of strategy of like, hey, why don't we give Oscars to movies that people actually watched? So I'm in for that. And part of that is that, well, I had already seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of last year. So so this year when you know these movies won their Oscars and stuff like that, I wasn't like other years where when movies win Oscars, I'm immediately like, not watching it. Oscar movies, no. A good example of that, and I know you're all gonna say, oh, it's awesome, you have to watch it. And if you know me, you know that's just gonna make me less likely to watch it. But for example, I have not seen Parasite yet. Yeah, I haven't seen Parasite yet. And I don't know. I'll get to it someday, maybe. But yeah, the simple fact that it won an Oscar makes me not want to watch it. But I'd already seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I love it. So, and I already wanted to watch The Whale. Like, I already knew about it. I didn't find out about The Whale from the Oscars. So it's a little different for me this year. This year I kind of want to watch these movies because I'd already heard about them, and I already knew that I wanted to watch them. So okay, let's put... Actually, I did try to watch Parasite. But what happened was... I don't even remember... Yes, this song is about potato chips. I don't even remember what streaming service I was going to watch Parasite on. And you guys are going to laugh, or maybe just groan and say like, oh, this asshole. But... I went to watch Parasite, and it was... I don't remember what streaming service it was on, and the only two languages available were Korean and Spanish. I'm like, okay, we're gonna watch it in Korean, but the only subtitles available were in Spanish. And I just went, well, guess I'm not watching it then. And that was it. And that was it. David Wheeler, I have not seen you since you got robbed and then talked about it on the morning stream. Holy crap, that was... 2008? Especially because I was never on the morning stream, David Wheeler. I was on the Extra Life radio. I was on Extra Life radio. The morning, I was never I was never asked onto the morning stream. But I know what you mean, right? Like, yeah, I think that was 2008. I think that was 2008. So, wow. That is a long time. How have you been? Am I still teaching? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm still teaching. Um, um, my job is probably a little different from what it was back then, but still essentially the same, you know, still illustrating, but I don't do webcomics anymore. Still trying to draw in your 50s? That's great. You know, never stop. Were you doing martial arts as well? Oh, wow. Then, yeah, that was... I stopped doing martial arts in 20... I want to say 2012. Yeah, yeah, more or less in 2012, I kind of stopped doing martial arts. Ah, nice. I do miss them, but only parts of it, to be honest. You guys just reminded me that I want to watch Attack on Titan. Oh, I would. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yes. Well, back then I was designing my arm tattoos, but as you can see, not only did I complete my arm tattoos, but I have almost half body. So, wow, that's man. Yeah, in 2008, I was just getting the arm. Back then, I didn't have my head, my neck, my chest. I did have my leg, I think, because my leg was before my arm. You didn't like the animation art style? Actually, that's the reason I watched it. I was really into that. I thought it was so different and unique. That was why I was watching it. The reason I stopped watching it was because I was kind of annoyed that season 1 ended and that we didn't know when season 2 was going to come out. And now, like, it's done. Well, I feel like I can watch it now. I think it's 4 seasons. Oh, and there was another thing that made me stop watching Attack on Titan back then. I'm ready to get over that. I'm ready to move past that. But okay, so back when Attack on Titan came out, season 1, a friend of mine kept telling me to watch it. And so you guys know how I am. I'm a contrarian. So you tell me too much to watch something, I'm just not gonna watch it. So I refused to watch it and refused to watch it and refused to watch it. And then finally I just kind of gave it a chance. And I thought it was so weird that I was like into it. So I watched season 1, and season 1 was very, very interesting. And when it ended, it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, and I just wanted to know what happened. And I didn't know when the rest of it was going to come out and all that. So I knew that it was based on a manga. So I thought, okay, let's check out the manga. And that way I don't have to wait for the rest of the TV series to come out. And so I did. I checked out the manga. And that... I don't want to be mean. But that was some of the worst art I've ever seen. Well, I mean, no. Obviously, I've seen worse art. But this was some of the worst art I've seen ever in a manga that's, like, super popular and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. And that just really made me go like, oh, well, I guess I'm done. And that was it. Demon Hunter, I see it all the time. But, well, I mean, I don't watch it. I see it everywhere, right? Like it's all over the place. And like Sabrina, I just, like, nope, not watching it. It's too popular. I don't really know what that is. Dororo? No, never really heard of that one. Yeah, that's one I've never heard of. Oh, Bobo. That one is awesome. I love that one. I love Bobo. That one is actually a Western. It's like a co-production between Western and Eastern animation. But I love it. It makes no sense, and it's the best. Have you ever seen it? Oh, wow, that actually does sound interesting. Oh, Mao, I'm gonna tell you about Bobo, and you're gonna watch it. Okay, so Bobo is about a guy. Okay, it's about a future where. Okay, I'm not making any of this up. It's gonna sound like I am, but I'm not making any of this up. In the future, Bobobo fights against, I think his name is Baldy Bald, who is a bald guy, who is the villain, and his thing is that he wants the entire world to be bald. So Bobobo is fighting for the preservation of hair. And his weapon is his hair. And I don't mean just his afro. For example, his nose hair is also part of his weapon. The anime makes no sense. At one part, it deviates. Hey, Pew! How are you, beautiful? At one part, the anime deviates into a love story of a pair of squirrels that live inside his afro, and they're married, but they're having like couples issues. And one of his sidekicks is a pickle, a talking pickle that nobody respects. And every time the pickle talks, they just tell it to shut up, and that's like the whole thing with the pickle. The anime makes no sense, and it just goes wherever it wants, and suddenly it deviates into other stories like the romance between the squirrels and stuff like that. It is very, very funny, and it makes no sense. Pew working like the cat in the computer. Oh yeah, that is quite a load of work. You got this, babe. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just watch like the first episode of Bobble, and it is one of the most incoherent, weird, random things I've seen in my life, and I love it. I have never seen Detroit Metal City. That sounds like something Red Walk would watch, though. You know, because metal. Yeah, Bobo is an easy series to sell because it just like when you tell people what it's about, it just makes no sense, and you immediately want to watch it. Okay. Oh yeah, that's new. Okay. I think the two most random animes I've ever seen are Bobobo and there was this old anime that was called Let's Dance with Papa. And it was about this divorced guy that had like the two most awful children in the world. And it's just kind of like a sitcom. Um but it's kind of just like the kids and the dad are like these horrible people. I only watched one episode, and it's that the kids are playing with their farts, and so they're basically farting into a tube and putting it like on a mask on their dad while he sleeps. Um, it's it was a weird anime. DMC is about a kid that's like the best metal singer of a really cool band, but secretly he wants to become a pop singer with acoustic songs. What? So on one hand, he wears the full face Kiss-inspired makeup and sings about murder and blood, and on his secret life, he has a bowl cut hairstyle and is very emotional. What? Udan High School Host Club? Okay, what's that one about? Okay, wait, I'm answering a question to a student. Give me a sec. Okay, sorry. A girl pretends to be a boy and gets adopted into a hire boyfriend club at the school. Okay. Okay. I think it's about time to put in the gradient maps and see what comes. But okay, let's do this. Gonna save it with a new name. Let's start those gradient maps. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna start with I like this one that's called Armor. I love the way this one looks. It always gives it such a nice look. But unfortunately, we can't keep this one on everything. So let's make one for the fur. And we're gonna go with a dark blue for those shadows. Then we're gonna go into a grayish brown for the fur. Up here we're gonna lead it into warm light right there. Here we're gonna go into a saturated, or oh, that's too saturated. There we go. Now it's taking shape. We're gonna lower the opacity on it. Then we're gonna activate this one, bring it down there, and remove a lot of it from the fur. Now it's a little bit too brown, but... Have I played anything on my new PC? Yes and... Yeah, I have. But what I haven't been able is I'm kind of in a little bit of a sort of gaming funk where I'm having a little bit of trouble finding a game to like attach to and really play through. I sort of envy people like Pew, for example. Pew, she grabs a game and she just plays the fuck out of it. When she grabs a game, she plays that game and that game and that's it. Me, I start like jumping in between games. I have like gaming ADHD. So what I wanted to do is I wanted a game that would really kind of help showcase the new computer and its power. But so of all the games I have, supposedly the one that does the most with lighting and ray tracing and all that is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So, but I already played Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's the problem. So I reinstalled Shadow of the Tomb Raider and played it, but it's like, yeah, I know this game, right? I know this game. I've played it before. So I saw it. I was like, yeah, pretty, but I know this game. So it's like I've been playing Elden Ring, but the problem with Elden Ring is that Elden Ring, it's pretty. Like, don't get me wrong. Elden Ring is a beautiful game, but it's not really a showcase game for graphics, right? Like it's got beautiful designs, but you know the lighting and all that kind of stuff, not it's not as impressive as you'd want it to be, right? So then okay, wait. So I installed Doom Eternal. And I tried out that. And I got like this little bone to pick with Sekiro because I've actually never finished Sekiro. So I was like, okay, it's time to finish Sekiro. But again, it's not like a good showcase game. I realize this is all like a very stupid problem to have. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. I tried playing a little bit of basically I'm looking for a game that is in my library, is beautiful and fun. And you'd be amazed how much of a tall order that seems to be. And that I haven't played, like, that crazy Chinese game was fun, pretty. Which one was that? Which one was that? The one with the... Shadow Warrior 3. Yes, Shadow Warrior 3. Yeah, Shadow Warrior 3 is pretty. I thought you meant Wo Long. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't think we were into Wo Long. But yeah, you mean Shadow Warrior 3. So one of the things about Vargr characters in Traveler is that Vargr characters are supposed to all be colorblind. So they mix colors very, very poorly. So the idea is that Vargirs are like always dressed in like just weird colors that don't make a lot of sense. And I love him for it. It's just... Okay, wait, I need a line layer. Really? I'll fix you. There we go. Okay. That is a temporary layer just to kind of see what I'm doing. I've been having trouble finishing drawings and don't know how to get out of that bad habit. Well, let's see, Mao. Where do you stop? Like what is do you find that you always stop at the same point? Or is it at different points? Because then we can kind of find the root of the problem. Also, do you know why? I mean, because if you know why, then you know, that's just like, let's talk about that. But most times people just don't know why. So do you know why, or do you stop always at the same point? Different points, some at the sketch, some at the coloring stage, some even at last details. Okay. Next question. Are these work images or just personal stuff?
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle. It's dramatically new, made possible only through years of research, invention, and innovation.
Okay, so then, okay, so we can, so we don't have that problem. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, well,
Yet when wires are loaded with a lot of conversations that are boosted in strength and travel some distance.
okay, and we don't know why, right? Like we have no idea why this is happening.
You see, instead of sounding like this, your voice comes out sounding like this.
Well, okay. How okay, we I'm gonna ask you some questions, Mo, and feel free to not answer if any of these questions feel like nosy or like none of your business, right? But the question I was okay. How is your work-life balance at the moment?
Look around.
Okay, what do I mean by that? For example, right now, I am extremely overloaded. I realize we're talking about you, not me, but right now I am extremely overloaded. I have absolutely no work-life balance at the moment. Whatever I want to do right now that is not work is such a hassle, and it's so difficult. Like, going to the gym, for example, right now for me is like I have to make time to go to the gym. Like I have to move stuff around, see how I'm doing, and like, am I gonna be able to go? Stuff like that. Gaming has become something that's like, oh man, I'm gonna see if I can stop playing at 7 so that I have 20 minutes to play a game before I have to, like, every single thing that is not work has become super difficult to fit into my life because I am overloaded with work. And because of that, that sketch of the corpse dragger that you've seen me do, and by the way, what you saw me do of it, that's all I've done. I have not worked on that outside of this. That's it. That's all the personal stuff I've done this year. And we're already halfway through March. And that's all the personal stuff. I want to play video games, but normally I'm just too tired to play video games. I want to go to the gym, but I just feel like it's taken away from work, all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I kind of learned, like I haven't learned to balance life and work, right? Because if I had, I wouldn't be saying what I just said, right? But one of the things that I have learned is that although drawing personal stuff is not work, in terms of exhaustion and energy and stuff like that, it makes no difference, right? Like you work all day and it's not like you have a separate energy bag for doing personal stuff. And so personal stuff still feels like work, and you just don't have the energy and you don't want to do it. And I've always said, like, you've probably heard me say this phrase before, because I like it a lot. Things are very difficult when you really don't want to, right? And the thing is, one thing that helped me a lot, not to get my personal work done, but to what was kind of letting it go, right? Like I would feel, okay, here's the thing. I would feel guilty if I wasn't drawing at all, right? But I am drawing. I draw, sorry. Oh boy. I am drawing. I draw all day, every day, right? I'm not getting rusty. You know, it's not like I'm not practicing or anything like that. Like, no. I do my job. I get shit done. All that kind of stuff. But I kind of made my peace with the fact that while things are the way they are right now, I just don't want to draw any more than what I'm already drawing, right? Like I literally get up between 3 and 4 a.m. every day to draw. And I stop only to go teach or to eat. And then I stop at the end of the day, and that's it. I had to make my peace, man, with that idea that I just don't want to draw anymore once I'm done drawing all day, right? And that's it. Like I just it's like, you know, we try to force ourselves. We try to kind of like, okay, like I have to do personal stuff. And if you look at my social media, like I haven't posted anything this year. Like, I haven't posted absolutely anything this year other than, you know, notifications that I'm about to stream, and that's it. Um, but yeah, it's you know, it's kind of like, yeah, make your peace with the fact that right now you're just working on building something. It is a bummer to have nothing to show, but okay, I don't know if this is going to be good or bad advice. I don't know. I think it's a little bit late in my career to think about if the advice that I give is good or bad. But I struggle and I have problems also thinking about, well, I'm not posting on social media, but then I started thinking, okay, but why do I post on social media though? Right? Like, why? Why do I need to post on social media? Okay, well, is it the social part of it? Nah, that can't be it. That's not me. That's not me at all. I'm not like, okay. Do I want people to see what I'm doing? I don't know. Do I? Like, so what is the point, right? What is the point? Okay, so is it sharing with other people that that can't be it. Okay, so is it the idea that by showing our work on social media, we will be able to get work? Well, that's always been my purpose with social media. But okay, I want to post on social media so I can get work, but I can't post on social media because I have too much work. So why am I stressing about posting on social media to get work when the reason I can't post on social media is because I have too much of it? So I guess it's okay if I don't post on social media, huh? The thing is, when I wasn't on social media, I wanted to draw personal stuff, but since there was no one to show it to, I didn't draw personal stuff. Now, even though I can show it, I don't finish. Yeah, but going back to social media is not going to magically give you more energy than what you had before, right? Like, you know, you're still tired at the end of the day. So anyway, yeah, that kind of rationale sort of helped me relax about social media. Like, I'm not posting on social media. Yeah, but like, if I post on social media and I get a bunch of job offers, I can't take them anyway. Right? I can't do any of that. I'm busy. So what's the problem, right? Like, okay, if why am I so anxious about posting on social media when the reason I posted on social media, the objective, the reason I would post on social media is not an issue. So right now, the only reason I would post on social media is just to share stuff with people. So now, do I want to do personal stuff? Yes, of course. I want to do personal projects, right? So of course, I want to do personal stuff. But I just, like, to me, it's a matter of some other time. You know, like, yeah, some other time I'll post. Yeah, you know, eventually this book will come out and I'll post about it. And So yeah, that's kind of what I would say regarding that topic, Mao. I think unless our jobs are to post on social media, which they are not, then I don't really see like oh, okay, so Greg Orif. There's also the thing. I do not remember who I heard explain it, but leave us hanging there, do you? As we finish work, we get a rush of endorphin from doing it and being able to show it. But with social media, we get a similar dose every time we post progress.
Forged out of the past and into the present, into the dream of the future.
But in the end, those small doses of endorphins make it so you don't need to finish, and you will get more doses if you just do a little. Let me still press enter and keep typing. No, don't worry. Actually, they were commenting earlier that YouTube apparently has a pretty tight letter limit, character limit. So I think it's shorter than Twitter even, if I'm not mistaken. So it wouldn't make a difference. I know it feels weird talking about this, but I was watching a streamer that is an illustrator, was having trouble getting illustration jobs, so they had to work on graphic design. That made me realize how lucky we are that we can actually draw all day. It's just a weird feeling. I mean, it absolutely comes at a price, Mao. It's a privilege to be able to do what we do, for sure. But I think it absolutely comes at a price. You know, there's a lot of sacrifices we have to make. At the end of the day, I am absolutely, like, 100% in on what we do, and I wouldn't change it for everything, for anything, right? But it absolutely comes with a price. In the sense that we have to make some sacrifices to be able to do this stuff, right? Like, it's not like you know, there's an advantage that comes from, you know, your regular 9-to-5 job, right? And absolutely being a full-time artist that gets to do this kind of stuff all day comes with a price. Most people don't really want to even consider it, because most people kind of like to think of that, you know, what we do isn't really even a job and stuff like that, right? And so yeah, most people don't want to hear about yeah, most people don't want to consider like that idea that maybe, you know, this isn't all fun and games, right? I remember when I was working in video games that people would talk about it like my job was just to play and enjoy games all day. I'm like, you know, that's really not what the job is like. You know, that's not really what we do. So, but I mean, I think every single job is misunderstood. Like you know, that of the artist, that of I think every single job has, you know, its ups and downs and stuff like that. And most people are always gonna think that only their job has the downs and everybody else's job is all ups. But in any case, um, I think that to kind of drive it back to the initial topic, which was, you know, not having any time to do personal stuff, I would say give yourself permission to not do personal stuff and to just do other things, because those other things are the things that are going to recharge your battery, right? So, you know, let your battery recharge. The mental exhaustion that comes from drawing as a job. Well, one of the things that a lot of people don't consider with this job is the and I have to kind of organize my thoughts to maybe talk about this like on the YouTube channel and stuff like that in a more kind of formal way. But one of the things that this job has is that a lot of people are not ready for is that in this job you are being constantly okay, this is difficult because I don't want to sound like I'm whining, but in this job you are being constantly tested. And what I mean is every single art piece that I deliver has to meet the client's approval. And sure, every now and then I get a client or a situation where the client just goes, it's great, awesome, the end. But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, there's always something to fix. Something is not quite right. Something has to be, like, you are constant, like your results are never guaranteed, and every single image that we work on can fail. Like it's never guaranteed. Every single image that you work on cannot go well. And I know that that's not exclusive to our job, but okay.
This takes precisely 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They have to be perfect.
So it is a part. Okay, wait. I'm currently unemployed after working a job web dev for 3.5 years. Have to take a full month for myself just to get my mental health back from the stress I was in. Yeah, it's one of the things that's funny about that is for example, with my students at the university, right? It's happened that like you give a critique or something, and once or twice it's happened that the student goes like, well, you know, well, I disagree, or like, you know, well, what about my opinion? Does my opinion not count? And it's funny because like just this week I was getting a critique from a client that I was like, I don't agree. I do not agree, but my opinion, like, 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 I'm not, like, I'm not the one paying here, so no, my opinion does not count. like, just, you know, do the job. And I do think that what Mao says there, like, you know, so young, so naive, I do think that is very much the case, because it's like at a certain point you do kind of learn the lesson, like, yeah, nobody gives a shit what you think. Like, look, if you go to Burger King and ask them to put like you know what, give me 2 buns with nothing but tomatoes in it, I want a tomato sandwich, like yeah, I mean, I don't care what you think, just give me what I'm paying for at the end, right? Like, so, and it's the same with this, like, yeah, you know, the client wants this, that's what the client wants, give it. How are the students this semester? Still uninterested? Yeah, pretty much. They're not. There are students that are interested, but they have other things on their mind, right? So, and when I say they have other things on their mind, I'm not criticizing what they have on their mind. I mean, whatever. But, you know, they have whatever assignment they have. They have, whatever, you know, whatever it is they're doing. That's what they got on their head. And that's kind of what, like, I'm sort of coming to just accept about myself as a teacher, that I kind of have to deal with, and I haven't yet sort of processed fully what I'm gonna do about it, in terms of like, okay, should I even continue teaching and stuff like that. And it's that I know that this is gonna sound awful, but like, if it's not illustration, I'm not interested, right? So like, a lot of these students have like just other things on their mind. Then I mean, great. Whatever you got on your mind, that's great. But if it's not illustration, I just don't care. I don't. You know what I mean? Like. Since they're studying graphic design, not necessarily illustration, a lot of times their concerns are about typography or layout or stuff like that, and I just I just don't care. Like, I just am not interested in that shit.
Serving 11 years with a 10-to-life sentence. To this day, the $250,000 in gold bullion involved in the original crime has not been recovered.
Oh, wrong way.
Now the gold can be recovered, pointing out that should the gold be found by Pappas, the insurance company had the first claim. $250,000 in gold, and this guy used to be a father. Hey, I'd sure like to meet this guy.
I do not miss working on graphic design assignments. Also bad at it. I like graphic design fine, but I only like it in the sense that it makes me a better illustrator. That's it. Like that's all I care about it. I still think graphic design is interesting. I still like that I'm good at it. I like that I'm good enough to teach and all that, but you know, we all got our interests and we all got our thing, and my interest
Guy used to be my partner.
is art. My interest is not,
Serving his time in the federal
you
penitentiary.
know,
Was serving time, baby.
Don't call me Dave.
I'm sorry. Anyway, he got out today. Throwing a little party for him tomorrow night.
So?
So he's got $250,000 hidden away. I'm the boy that's gonna find out where.
$250,000?
actually, that reminds me, I have to let my students know that
It'll be mine before the week's out.
Well, that's not bad for a start.
okay.
Perhaps my little girl has the possibilities of the big time after
One of the things that, like,
judged you.
one of the things that I like doing as a teacher was I think that there are a lot of advantages to being a student, and I try to kind of explain this to my students. Like, look, when you're a student, you are simulating, right? You're not actually doing the job. You're simulating what being the job would be like, right? And it seems, and this is another problem that I've had with my teaching over the past few years, because it seems that every single time now, more and more and more, the trend has been for students to do actual real world assignments. And sorry. Okay. And the problem I have with that is that it's just like, okay, you know, cool. But okay, see, sorry, I'm gonna have to stop here to make a point. As a teacher, I believe that there's a fundamental flaw in how the typical educational system works. And Mao has heard of this from me because I used to explain this in the classes that I teach when I used to teach alone. And the idea is that we teach a student something new and then ask them to apply this new skill to whatever exercise we have them doing. And then we grade them on the success of a skill that they have just learned and are supposedly trying for the first time. The problem with this system is that you never get it right the first time. When you learn a new skill, you suck while you're just learning, right? And it takes a lot of application and a lot of practice and a lot of trial and error to finally get things right. And so the problem with that is that when we grade a person based on their success on something that they're trying for the very first time, what we're doing is we are teaching people that failing is bad and undesirable and something you should avoid. And the problem with that is that, especially with art, but with everything, you need to be able to fail so that you can eventually get good at what you're doing, right? So basically, you need to know what doesn't work, so eventually you can know what works, but the only way you're going to know what doesn't work is by failing, and failing a lot. So it's absurd to teach somebody something new and expect them to get it right at the beginning, right? And when we punish them for making mistakes, we're teaching them that mistakes are not allowed, and that's kind of the way we teach people. We teach them something new, then ask them to go do it and punish them when they don't get it perfect on their first try. So I see that fundamental flaw in how we teach people and how we educate people. But then there's the whole point that failure, like punishment and generates discipline and stuff like that, right? So unfortunately, if we take away the punishment of failure, then only the most disciplined people will be the ones that learn, because it takes a lot of discipline to do this stuff if you're not getting punished for not doing it, right? So at that point is the point where I go like, well, it's a good thing that my profession isn't like, you know, I'm not I'm an artist that teaches. My profession is not figuring out the educational system or anything like that, right? I don't know what words I'm looking for here. So yeah, that's kind of a thing, right? That I see and how things get taught, and which is why really I find a lot more interest and a lot more potential in just online teaching through stuff that's just like, hey, okay, if you're interested, here you are, here we go, right? Failure in a school setting is also, in the grand scheme, usually fairly mild compared to like being fired. Oh yes, that reminds me. Thank you, Judy. That reminds me. Uh, oh wait. I missed something. I think there should be wiggle room for misunderstandings too. I remember getting a fairly low grade on a paper because they didn't understand the assignment, so I wrote another paper. Wrote another paper on why it still followed the rules she set. So basically, it seems to be that the trend in universities now, or at least the university where I teach, is to give students real world jobs. And I think that there is a value in the studying process that is lost when you give people real world jobs, because it's like, look, we're gonna do this assignment, it's no big deal, we're just experimenting here, we're just trying out, seeing what works, what doesn't, right? So when you just make it all like, okay, we're gonna do real world stuff because real world, like, yeah, but they're still students though, right? Like they're still students, so why don't we just chill out, make some exercises that are interesting and fun, and let the boring real world happen when it happens? Because when you graduate from university, and anybody listening here that has graduated from university will agree with me, and those of you that are still in the university and are thinking, well, I don't think that's true, shut the fuck up. You'll see. You'll see. But anybody that has graduated from the university will confirm that when you graduate from the university, the first thing you learn once you start working is that you don't know shit. That is the first lesson you learn. That you don't know shit. That is your first lesson. And all those real world assignments that you did, trying to get you ready, but no, none of that holds. So what really kind of keeps you afloat in the professional world is the ability to adapt, the ability to learn on the fly, to get, like, to figure things out and all that kind of stuff. That's what really you need. But the whole idea, like, oh, one time at the university I did an assignment on this, therefore I know how to do it. No, that doesn't really happen. So yeah, I think that removing kind of like the fun sort of student assignments just because we need real world application, I don't really see the point in that. I think it's like, yeah, just why don't we get to keep the fun assignments and instead focus on teaching these students to be adaptable, to be flexible, to those kind of things that will actually be useful in the long run. But, that's not my job. I enjoy it a lot. I think, I think the reality of it is that I enjoy talking about art almost as much as I enjoy making it. Um, okay. Don't hold attachments to anything you make. Once in front of your client, you will get shit on it, and when you're attacked, it hurts. Attached, it hurts more. Link to let it go. Out the window. Um, I think. I think for us as artists, it's important to kind of learn to not just let go like your attachment to your work, but for example, especially when you work online, you come across so many different types of people that eventually you do come across the person that's like not necessarily like they're not bad people, but they're definitely not people that are your style of people, and you know you still got to work with them. And I don't even mean like about assholes or stuff like that. I just mean people that you're like, oh, okay. But like every now and then I get clients that I'm like, oh, you're a bit dry, aren't you? Well, okay. Sure. Let's just move on with our lives. You know, and you don't stop working with them or stuff like that. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, as long as stuff needs to get done, we'll do it. But I do think that is one of the things that is maybe missing a lot from how people learn to work nowadays. And it's like, you know, there's a big difference between being nice and being your style, right? Like you can't measure the world on would I have a beer with this person, because like that's just not how it works. And a lot of times it doesn't occur to us that maybe the reason the person that we're talking to isn't behaving like in a way that would make me think I want to drink a beer with them, and maybe the reason that they're behaving that way is because when they look at me, they think that they wouldn't want to get a beer with me, right? Like so a lot of times we kind of just measure everything on how much we like this person, or how much we you know, we like our interactions with them. And a lot of times I get clients that, I mean, fortunately I've never had them, like I've never come across a situation where a client had to tell me, but I've definitely had clients that the vibe they give off is more like, you know, let's just get this done, and you know, I don't, you know, I don't need to know about you. I don't need to know about you as a person. I just want you to give me the art that I'm paying you to do, and that's it. That's all I want. And I think it's a harsh lesson, but it's an important lesson to learn that, like, you know, just because somebody's not interested in being your friend doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Okay. I love it. I just want to get to the point. I'm just imagining Sabrina like I send her a chat message like, "Hello, Sabrina." Like what? What? Just, time waster. Just what? Hello, Sabrina. Ugh. This asshole again. My favorite thing to do, I'm going to complain about my boss some more. Lately, we have been having a meeting every single day, and while they are productive, they can go very long. Okay, I want to see where this is going. I feel the same as Sabrina, but some other times I do get very weird stories from clients. Like one time I just asked politely, "How are you?" before a meeting, and they answered, "Well, my house burned down, so I'm looking for a new one." That's like that kind of comment is like, okay, now I feel bad if we don't continue the topic. Right? Like, "How are you?" "Well, my house burned down." So, yeah. Tuesdays, huh? Okay, about the image. Fuck, why did I ask? Yet he still expects me to have so much work completed, like I had a full 8-hour day and the meeting didn't happen. One of the things that the boss at the video game company tried to do, and if he had actually applied it the way it was supposed to be applied, it would have been great, but he didn't. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Was that we would have to submit timesheets, right? And in those timesheets, you would have like an hourly account of everything that you did, right? So unfortunately, my boss at the time would only use those timesheets to focus on how long it was taking me to produce art, to later on tell me, "Why does it take you so long to produce art?" Right? But what I think would be useful with those timesheets is, and we would use, shit, what was it called? Oh, damn, I forgot the name of the program we would use to track our time. It was good. It was a good program. And I forgot the name of it. But anyway, at the end of the month when we would submit our timesheets, Toggle! Thank you, Mo. Toggle. Yes, Toggle. And Toggle was awesome. And what I loved about it was that at the end of the month, when you would submit your timesheets, it would have, like, "Oh, this month you spent this much time in meetings." uh, and you spent this much time in stand-up, and you spent this much time doing this and that. So for me, it was ideal, because for me it was like, okay, when the time comes to see how productive I've been, well, yeah, that day that you made me sit in a meeting for 8 hours, well, there you go. See how that's affecting my productivity. Unfortunately, the boss at the time didn't really use it that way. Like it was never taken into consideration that making me sit in a meeting for 7 or 8 hours was affecting my productivity. But I do like Toggle, and I've actually considered the possibility of using Toggle on my own. I just always forget, but I'm actually gonna write it down, because the thing is, there's absolutely nothing that says, where's my Sharpie? There's absolutely nothing that says you can't use Toggle by yourself, right? And I like it because so there was this study, but unfortunately I can't give you guys like quotes or sources or stuff like that. So you're just gonna have to like believe me and shit. But I remember once reading that they had done this study, and in this study they were asking people like, about their time, and they were kind of evaluating the whole idea that if asked, most people say that they don't have time, right? But then what they would find out is that they would install like this software that would kind of calculate really, really, really what you were doing while you were at your computer, right? So it would calculate, not just that you were at your computer doing stuff, but like, are you actually in Photoshop? Ooh, thank you. I like that. Starbucks is pretty. So they would find like, oh, okay, this person works 8 hours a day, but how much exactly of those 8 hours is the person actually working, right? Like, how much is really, really work, and how much is just whatever else? And what they found was that most people don't actually work the 8 hours. Of course not. But like, you would think, okay, yeah, but 6 hours, maybe 5 or 7 or something. And no, what they would find is that, like, of actually doing work, it was like an hour or 2. Like, when you added up the actual precise time that you were actually doing stuff, it was like an hour or 2. And I found that so fascinating, because it's like this whole idea of, well, what are you doing the rest of the time, right? Like, what are you doing the rest of the time? Which I suppose is going to change from one person to the next, but yeah, I remember finding it very, very fascinating, and reading about this software that you can install on your computer so that it helps you count your productivity, but it's only going to count when you're actually in the certain programs that you tell it doing stuff. Like, if suddenly your mouse isn't moving for a while, then it will stop counting. Like, it's not good enough to just be in Photoshop. Like, you actually have to be, the mouse has to be moving. Like, stuff has to be happening. Otherwise, it's not going to count the time. like the amount of time I spend looking for something to watch while I work, like the amount of time I spend trying to find something to listen to while I work is probably more than the time I work. Like no, is definitely more. like like it's absolutely more than the amount of time I actually get work done. Um and then there's the other obsessions that I have. Like for example, you can ask Pew, she might laugh at this, but I have this strange obsession with desktop wallpapers. And I will easily throw away a morning just looking for wallpapers. And eventually come out empty-handed. Like they didn't even find the wallpaper. But I have this weird obsession with desktop wallpapers. I must have the idea, and I am picky. I have like standards and stuff. I will not use just any wallpaper. I have to have the wallpaper. And yeah, I'll waste a morning looking for wallpapers. Oh no. And ever since I have this dual 32-inch 1440p monitor setup, I have wasted so much time looking for wallpapers that you would laugh. You would laugh at how much time I've invested into finding the ideal wallpaper for this setup. Especially because since they are 1440 dual monitors, like I find dual monitor wallpapers, but they're low resolution, so no good. I need them to be high resolution, because otherwise, I mean, what's the point of having a 1440 monitor if I'm not going to have a high resolution wallpaper to go with it? And I have spent so much time over the past couple of weeks just looking for wallpapers. It's almost embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing.
We don't know. All we got are suspects. My job, find out who.
Yeah. Yeah, Pew can testify on that one.
My job, find out who.
Okay. I think this image is coming along nicely. I like it. I'm really guilty of apartment house hunting for hours for no gosh darn reason. I'm not even trying to buy a house, I just look. No, I don't do that one. But when I was buying stuff, like when I was buying the monitors or when I was buying the motorcycle or stuff like that, oh, I did spend so much time looking for them. But looking for stuff that I'm not planning to buy, yeah, that one, yeah, that one is not one I do, I have to admit. Oh, and when I was getting the keypad, I also spent a lot of time. I have a lot of dream homes bookmarked. And by dream homes, I mean way out of any budget I could ever have. So this is the house for when I have $1 billion after winning the Oscar for Best Artist. Which, I mean, I don't even know where I'm going with that. I know that there's no financial prize. At some point in time, my YouTube recommendations were for millions. Really? Oh, wow. I have to admit, that's not one I got. As far as YouTube is concerned, my interests in life are Elden Ring and my childhood home went on sale not too long ago, and they took 3D pictures of the whole place. It was so surreal. Oh, wow. Last year when we were apartment hunting, we looked at, because our dream has always been to live in a loft apartment, but looking at loft apartments is an exercise in frustration because they're very expensive, and also because real estate whatevers don't seem to really understand what a loft is. So they will just classify anything as a loft. And so a lot of our time spent looking at loft apartments was also spent saying, that's not a loft. But anyway, one of the lofts that we looked at had a virtual tour. Like you could go into it in virtual reality, and that was very, very interesting. Still wasn't a loft though, but it was interesting. Okay. Okay, I am happy with how the captain is working out. What is the earliest memory that I have? Age. Okay, I have 3 memories between the ages of 3 and 4. I don't know if you've ever heard the concept of like coming online. That like something happens and that's when you come online. Have you ever heard of this? Well, basically, it's that. It's that. Well, following the whole metaphor, it's that before you're not online, like your brain is not making memories or anything like that. But then something happens, and your brain comes online, and from that moment on, you're making memories. You don't keep them all or anything, but that's like the moment that you come online. Well, I have 3 things that I don't know which one it is because I don't know which one happened first. And unfortunately I mean I just don't know which one happened first, but one is falling off a tree and breaking my arm. The other one is pushing a little kid to the floor in nursery school. And the third one is drowning. So I know all those things happened when I was 3 or 4 years old. But I don't know which one actually happened first. So, yeah, all traumatic, I guess. But yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. One of those things made me come online. I remember finding porn at age 4. I have to admit, I never found porn in my home. Does that mean my dad never had porn? I can't honestly believe that he never did, but I never found it. That much I know. Or maybe it's one of those things that I did find it, but I blocked out the traumatic experience. That could have happened. because my dad kept his porno magazines in the bathroom closet right next to the Irish Spring soap bars. So now you have that memory attached to the smell. And I read that smells apparently are like some of the most powerful memories. That like smells are one of those things that trigger memories the best. Smells are super powerful memory things. Every time I smell gasoline, I remember a family trip we took, and a bus smelled a lot like gasoline. Wow, that's a pretty common smell, though. Gasoline, I mean. Yes, YouTube, I'm still listening. Oh, you're done. Oh, okay. Wait, I already heard that one. Okay, here we go. Okay. McDonald's chicken nugget smells like the Disneyland Haunted House ride? I'm aware someone was probably eating nuggets in line, but the smell can't shake the connection. Wow. I have to admit that, like most people, unfortunately, my sense of smell is severely underdeveloped. I'm very, very basic when it comes to that. You know, like I wish I had something more developed with my sense of smell, but no, that's not really the case. Well, one thing that kind of like in that same vein, Mao, is that people from different places have different smells. I remember it was basically that somebody was commenting that like people from the Middle East smelled a lot like garlic and spices. And so somebody said like, you know, that's racist, and it was like, no. Because that's how they smell to us. And to them, we smell like cheese and like expired milk and stuff. And honestly, I would rather smell like garlic and spices than smell like cheese and rotting milk. Like if I had to choose, I'd rather smell spicy than but it apparently it has to do with the cultural diet. That no, wait, I suppose cultural diet is not the correct word, but basically, you know, the diet that people consume in most of these places. Here in the Western world, we consume a lot of dairy, and apparently that affects how we smell. We just don't smell it on ourselves, and they consume a lot more spices than we do, so we smell it on them. Uh, I've also been told that Paris smells really bad. But I have never been to Paris. But I have been told that Paris smells really, really bad.
It was up in Mike's the other night. That was really quite a sight. Gather round, folks, I give you all the lowdown. It's the best news.
One thing about smells I'll never forget is this is a very long time ago. We're talking about the 90s, right? And I remember way back when I was when Lenny Kravitz was like super popular in the late 90s. I don't remember what the source was, but I remember hearing, like, you know, the celebrity gossip that was that Lenny Kravitz smelled really bad. And that was like the whole Hollywood gossip. Like, Lenny Kravitz smells really, really bad. And that was like the story. And the thing about that was, ever since then, whenever I see, like, people, you know, movies, stuff like that, I always find myself wondering, I wonder what they smell like. You know, I wonder what they smell like. You know, like, especially because, you know, movies don't have that component. So we kind of build this whole idea of these people that we see in the movies and stuff like that, but what do they smell like? Right? Like, you know, do you ever just sit and wonder what Schwarzenegger smelled like in all those movies? like, you're sitting there watching Conan. Schwarzenegger's there with all, like, the oiled up muscles and all that kind of stuff, and you're saying, I wonder what smell is going on. Like, what kind of smell situation do we have going on here? I am liking this guy. The worst smelling people I have ever smelled were Buddhist monks. They smelled like literal corpses. I was in a room with like 80 people from I don't think you're being mean, Mao. I mean, I think if you're a Buddhist monk, you pretty much, like, I don't suppose anybody wants to smell bad, but if a Buddhist monk started complaining about that they smell too much, like, I'd just be like, shouldn't you be beyond that? I don't know. Let's normalize being mean to Buddhist monks. Everybody always feels like we have to be so nice to Buddhist monks. No, I don't like this stereotype that all Buddhist monks are nice people. There have to be asshole Buddhist monks. Like, there is no way that all Buddhist monks are nice. No. There has to be, like, a really asshole Buddhist monk. I mean, there's no way there isn't. Assholes come in all shapes and sizes, in all presentations. There have to be asshole Buddhist monks. I refuse to believe that there's no such thing. Like, can you imagine? Like, can you imagine if you met the Dalai Lama and he was a complete asshole to you? Like, nobody would believe you. You'd be like, like, imagine that you meet the Dalai Lama, but you're alone, right? You're alone. It's just you and the Dalai Lama, and you're like, oh, hello, hello, Mr. Lama. It's such an honor. And he just goes, shut the fuck up. Who let you in here? Like, oh, I'm gonna call security and have them rough you up. But what the fuck are you doing? And he just leaves. And you're just sitting there with that. Who would believe you? Like, who would believe? Like you would write articles about this shit and nobody would believe you. Like, you'd be writing an article in, like, I don't know, fucking BuzzFeed or whatever. Like, that one time the Dalai Lama was an asshole to me, and everybody would be like, oh, you're full of shit. Who's gonna believe you that the Dalai Lama was an asshole to you? Nobody. It would be one of those incredibly surreal experiences that you just have to take with you to the grave, because nobody's gonna believe you. Like, have you guys ever heard that, for example, that Mother Teresa was supposed to be like really mean? I've read this for real, that like Mother Teresa was supposed to be like really, really mean. That she was like supposed to be like a full-on asshole. And it's like, yeah, who's gonna believe you that the Dalai Lama was a complete douche to you? Nobody. You just get to take that with yourself to the grave. In the end, nobody's ever gonna believe you. Like, the Dalai Lama is there flicking your ear, like, basically saying, go ahead. Who's gonna believe you? I'm the Dalai Lama, bitch. You're like, oh man, come on. Come on, Lama, don't do that. No, come on, man. Like, I remember, okay, so you guys know that I used to train, right, like Kung Fu Shaolin, right? So I remember one time, we were told a story, right? And this story was about, so I'm gonna tell you guys the story because it's not a really long story, right? But so my point is, they would tell us stories of wisdom and stuff like that with, like, you know, Shaolin monks and stuff like that. But every single time, without fail, if you didn't pay attention to the moral of the story, your conclusion could just be that Shaolin monks were assholes. For example, one of the stories was that one guy wanted to be an apprentice to, like, a real famous Shaolin master. And so he climbed up the mountain or whatever to get to the Shaolin master. And so arrived at his cabin or wherever the Shaolin master lived and was like, hey, you know, I'm here to learn from you. And so the Shaolin master would go like, nope, come back some other time. And it was like in the middle of nowhere, so the guy just like set up camp next to the guy's house, and he would go every day and ask him to teach him, and the Shaolin master would say no, until eventually the Shaolin master said, like, okay, see that tree over there? Okay, without any tools or any help, you are going to pick up that tree, like uproot that tree, and bring it to me. And when you do that, I will teach you. And so the story goes that the guy like went, and it was like a big tree, right? Like a tree that he would like hug like this big. And so that he would go and he would hug the tree and try to uproot it. And of course not, it's a fucking tree. And so that the guy basically did that every single day for years and years and years, until eventually he uprooted the tree and took it to the Shaolin Master. And so the Shaolin Master said, okay, like, there you go. Like that's it. That's your lesson. And he was like, wait, no, I uprooted the tree and brought it to you. You said that when I did that, you would teach me. And so the Shaolin Master said, like, dude, you just uprooted a tree and brought it to me. What am I gonna teach you? And so the whole moral of the story is like whatever. I was listening to this story and I was just thinking, okay, what an asshole. Like so you just saw this guy every single day standing in front of your house, hugging a tree, trying to pull it out for years. And you just, like, okay, like, whatever. Like, just, and then there was the other, like, this one was the worst. So, apparently, there's, like, some Shaolin master, and, he visits, like a poor town, right? And so it's like really, really poor. Everybody's hungry. And so he comes across a little hut, right? A little hut. And there's like a guy living there with his wife and like a bunch of kids, and they have nothing to eat, and they're starving. And so the Shaolin Master's walking by, and the guy goes like, hey, can you please give us some money? We don't have anything to eat. Can you give us some money, some food? He's begging, right? And so the Shaolin Master gives him nothing and leaves. And as the Shaolin Master's walking away, he goes around the house and he sees that this poor family, all that they have is one cow. And it's standing next to a cliff. So as the story goes, the Shaolin Master kicks the cow down the cliff and kills it. Which, by the way, not a very Shaolin thing to do. But, yes, he sees that this poor starving family just has one cow, and he goes and he kicks it down a cliff and kills it. And leaves. And so, of course, he's being followed by all his apprentices. And all the apprentices are like, oh, master, why did you do that? And the master's just like, whatever, and leaves. And years later, the story goes, the master revisits the town with his students, and they see the same poor family, and they are doing great. They've got a big house, they've got money, they're doing awesome. And so the Shaolin Master visits the guy and goes like, hey, tell me what, last time I came here, you were poor and starving. What happened? And so the guy's like, well, see, right after you visited us, our cow fell off the cliff and died. And so, basically that because they lost the cow, they had to come up with other ways to survive. And in that coming up with other ways to survive, they ended up finding alternative means to make money, and they ended up making a lot of money. So the whole moral of the story is that a lot of times the only thing, like the thing you think is keeping you, that a lot of times the thing you think is helping you survive is what's holding you back. That's the moral of the story. Great. I get it. The Shaolin Master still... First of all, I'm pretty sure that was a crime. Second, he killed a cow. And third, he didn't know that what was gonna happen. Like, a poor starving family, all they have is a cow, he kills it. Like, all these stories about Shaolin Masters, the Shaolin Masters are always the most... Yes, like, how did he know they weren't gonna just starve to death because he kicked a cow down a cliff? And all these stories of, like, the Shaolin Masters and their wisdom, they're always, like, the most horrible assholes that you can imagine. I always... Like, I remember they would tell us these stories in Shaolin school, and everybody was always, like, so amazed with the wisdom, and I was, like, the only one thinking, wait a second. No. This is a really bad story. Like, no, this is... Yeah, and it's always stuff like that. It's always, like, just the most terrible assholes you can imagine. And that's what I imagine the Dalai Lama is like. Because he can be. Who's gonna believe you that the Dalai Lama was an asshole to you? Nobody. That's you. Nobody's gonna believe you that the Dalai Lama was an asshole to you. So I'm sure he does it all the time. He's an asshole to people because he can. That is my belief, and I am strong and firm in my belief that the Dalai Lama is probably an asshole when nobody's looking. Prove me wrong, whatever your name is. I forgot the Dalai Lama's name. I know he has a name, but I forgot it. Wait, did the Dalai Lama die? Oh, fuck. Did I not know the Dalai Lama was dead? Well, I mean, the one we've always known. Yeah, but I didn't remember that being his name. So... No! The current Dalai Lama's name is Tenzin Gyatso. That's not his name. His name is Tenzin Gyatso. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna be disingenuous here, Mao, and act like I knew that. Like, no, I totally looked it up. That's like, yeah, I'm not gonna. You mean you don't know the Dalai Lama's name? What's wrong with you? Like, what No, I totally looked it up. But I want to believe that you didn't look it up and you just made up a name. That's what I want to believe. I want to believe that you just made up a name. Yeah, that sounds about right. His Holiness Fred. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, if I was gonna, produce a holy man, that's probably what I would call him. What's the news? Pope's his name is Randy. Randy Pope. Like, wait, so the new Pope's last name is Pope? Yeah, it was a really big coincidence, but they just thought it was like a message from God to name him Pope, so they did. Yeah, his full name was Randall Pope. I do think it's funny when you like see people in the news or stuff like that have names that are basically about what they do. I always wonder, like, would they do that if I'm having trouble coming up with examples, but I have heard examples in my life about that. I always find myself wondering, would they do it if they didn't have the name? Like, is it related or not? Okay. Are we doing on time? Oh, almost done. But I am really happy with this image, gotta admit. Gotta admit that I'm happy with it. Just gotta polish a few things. But yeah, I'm very happy. There you go. Art happened. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can make it look like those, like he's got patches. Yeah, you know, art happens here every day. Okay, wait. I'm gonna put this in normal mode. There you go. Art has happened again. Every day I'm arting. Now we just remove the parts that are hair. Well, hair has no reason to be pink. I'm just gonna do that here a little bit, here and there, to sort of add a little bit of texture to the whole thing. Really make it feel like these are just patches where he has no hair. I like it. Not sure about these whiskers, though. I mean, I want him to have whiskers, but maybe they're too... I need to make them thinner, for sure, but maybe they're too much. Let's see what happens when I make them thinner. Just contract them by 1 pixel. Let's see. Okay, that looks better. I mean, hey, dogs have whiskers. Let's not, let's not make believe that dogs don't have whiskers, because they do. The reality, we're not gonna whisker shame. Yeah, now I just have to polish some edges up and stuff like that. But overall, there we go. Matilov, hello. Okay. Well, it is 5 p.m., which means we are done. We are done. this image was a lot of fun to work on. I love it when I can, like, start and finish an image in one sitting. It's a rare happening, but the image isn't actually done, right? Like, I still want to polish a little bit of edges here and there and stuff like that, but I'm confident this image will be delivered tomorrow. I really like the face. Like, oh wow, this guy's face is... I really like this guy's face. I like it a lot. But anyway, that's gonna be it from me today. I will be back on Friday. I don't know what I'll be doing on Friday. So I will be here. I will stream on Friday, but I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But yes, I promise I'll be here on Friday. We'll hang out. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about things and the stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about things and stuff. And I'll be here on Friday. For now, I am done. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was a lot of fun. My favorite part was imagining if the Dalai Lama is a douche or not. And the funny thing is that on this screen right here, I have this big photo of the Dalai Lama because I was just looking on Wikipedia what his real name is. So, so there you go. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let's do the whole goodbye thing. You have been watching the Ministry of Abnormality YouTube live broadcast, and I've been your host of Abnormal. Today has been Tuesday, March 21st of 2023. I will see you all Friday at the same hour, and until then, thank you so much for watching. Good hunting, stay naughty, and the end. Yeah, the end. How do you like that shit? Making it different, keeping it real. Normally I would say goodbye, but this time I said the end. But is it the end? No, actually it's to be continued. Why am I doing that voice?